This is down. Down is good. This is up. Up is no.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Armored Warfare with your host Czar Peppers. Today's video is sort of a part 2 to the last one about the BMP-1, as this vehicle is sort of related to it, the BMD-1. It'll be a little shorter than the last video, as much of the story of this vehicle is similar to that of the BMP with a few key differences. The BMP-1, I wonder how many times I'm going to get these two mixed up over the course of this video. Anyways, the BMP-1 was designed to primarily operate within the Soviet sphere of influence in a conventional ground war. But after the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Army was ordered to put more emphasis on the ability to project power globally. This required an airborne force that can be rapidly deployed far distances from the Soviet borders. Sort of like what you see in Red Dawn. I mean, other than all the Goebbelian propaganda. But my thoughts on East-West Cold War dogma is for a video for another time. Since the BMP was too heavy to be transported on the variety of aircraft they used to transport the airborne forces, or VDV, they required a lighter vehicle that would be able to perform a similar task. It became the task of the Volgograd tractor factory to produce this new infantry fighting vehicle located in the city of Volgograd, obviously, a city formerly known as Stalingrad. It had been renamed by Khrushchev in 1961 in his attempt to de-Stalinize the Soviet Union. The simplest way to think of the BMP and the BMD is the BMP was used by the conventional infantry forces, while the BMD was for the VDV, or Soviet Airborne Divisions, a force you will surely be familiar with if you play war game Red Dragon. They use the same turret and 73mm smoothbore gun that were used in the BMP that, in armored warfare, can be rather frustrating on uneven terrain due to its low gun depression. Not low gun depression, bad gun depression. Along with the gun, it's equipped with the same ATGM launchers that were used on the BMP. They differed in that the BMD used lighter aluminium armor and had far more cramped conditions for the encapsulated infantry, combined with a smaller overall size, but like the BMP, it was too made for the nuclear battlefield. Isaiah. The BMD also had many similarities with the PT-76, which was basically a BMD with a different turret mounted with the 76mm gun. Originally, the BMD was dropped from either a plane or a helicopter with a parachute, and then the crew would drop on their own, and then they would have to locate and retrieve the vehicle. This system proved problematic, since there were many times when the crew and the infantry would land far away from the vehicle, and the vehicle could land in a location where it was impossible to retrieve. In order to solve this problem, they began dropping the vehicle with key crew members inside, the driver and the gunner. Imagine how terrifying that would be, being inside this thing, falling through the air with only a big piece of canvas to keep him from falling uncontrollably into the ground. Maybe they were allowed a shot of vodka before each drop. I think I would need 2 or 3. Eventually they also added rockets to the parachute for further assurance that it wouldn't go splat. Like the BMP-1, the BMD-1 was also used extensively during the Soviet-Afghan War. In the first few days of the invasion, the BMD-1s of the 103rd Guards Airborne Division and the 345th Separate Parachute Regiment were landed in Kabul. From there, they would go on to secure a variety of strategic locations around Afghanistan. Similar operations took place throughout the country in the first weeks of the war, and the vehicles would play a large role in the fight against the Mujahideen, who would eventually get support from the United States, and eventually go on to form groups like Al-Qaeda. The BMD-1, I almost got myself there, almost did it, would go on to face many of the same problems that the BMP-1 did. It was not suited for operating in the extremely hot conditions of the mountainous regions of Afghanistan, and its anti-tank armaments weren't very effective against infantry with light anti-tank weapons. The Mujahideen were extremely skilled at mine placement and ambushing the Soviet troops. Even support from the Soviet Hind gunships would soon prove ineffective as well. when the Mujahideen began to receive Stinger missile launches through covert American dealings with them. So, that's the BMD-1. I suppose you can think of it as the BMP's little skydiving enthusiast brother. In armored warfare, it is pretty much the same as the two BMP variants, but a bit quicker. Unlike the BMP, the first BMD you get in the game comes with the ATGM launcher along with the 73mm smoothbore gun. Speaking of all these sorts of vehicles, I have been wanting to do some more Wargame Red Dragon videos. The only problem is I'm honestly pretty rubbish at actually playing other people, other than my one friend, and no one really wants to watch videos of comp stomps. So I might be doing some commentary on replays from the Wargame replay dump. So yeah, hopefully that'll happen pretty soon. So until next time. Or until next time. That's the right inflection. Down, not up.
Hostile tank. Direct hit.